You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
A high wind watch in effect tomorrow morning through tomorrow evening. For tonight, windy and mild, periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 53. Winds gusting past 45 miles per hour tomorrow. Some sunshine, then turning cloudy with a heavy gusty thunderstorm in the afternoon. Strong winds can produce power outages and tree damage. Will reach a high of 67. Mostly sunny skies Sunday with a high of 50. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Well, to be fair, it was neither a lion or a lamb, right? I mean, is this a lamb day?
I don't think this is a lamb day. I mean, first of all, traffic was terrible getting in here. Second of all, I almost blew over coming from my car to the front door.
So what would be a windy animal? Because it was last week a big tree fell down last Friday.
Right. How about on Saturday a big tree fell down at your house?
Yeah.
You haven't talked about that in the air.
No. No. We're still recovering. But apparently high winds expected again tonight.
Listen, tomorrow's going to be worse.
Well, aren't you glad you tuned in for this conversation?
Wow.
Holy, it's windy worse talk here on the ride home. Happy that you're with us for the Friday edition.
Oh my gosh!
Kath, other than being windblown,
I'm fine because the Pirates won the first game of the MLB season.
Did you watch it?
Look, yeah, I watched the rerun last night.
That was good, wasn't it? It looked good.
Okay, now here's something I have to say. I have to take all that you will throw at me about this. I didn't mind the clock.
Oh, no. I don't mind the clock either.
I mean, I hated the clock.
Yeah.
I hated the idea of a clock in
Me
Major
too.
League Baseball.
It's a crisp game.
That's how I felt. I felt like watching it. I guess I anticipated in my head it would seem rushed. I would feel like if I go to the ballpark, I'm going to have to get out of here soon. It's going to be a short night.
Well, if you go to the ballpark, you're not going to dawdle, going to get a hot dog. You're going to have to rush back to your seat.
Yeah, because you're going to miss part of the game.
The game is much better. I hate to say it. It's true.
I really have to say that I enjoyed it.
Me too.
Yeah.
No hanging around.
Right.
Making your batting gloves fit, standing outside the box,
pulling your sock up. Right.
Let's go. Get in there.
And Bednar at the end, was that awesome when he closed that out?
Fabulous.
Wasn't that good?
It's a good game.
I liked it.
Bucks look good.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing.
I was excited about it.
They opened the season yesterday. They're off today. Like it was too much. That one game. Took the heck. I was just so tired. So they'll play tomorrow.
It was exhausting.
I'm tired.
For crying out loud.
Anyway, we're happy that you're with us.
Is it too early for me to tell you?
Tell us what.
Your weekend has begun.
Oh, fabulous.
Goodness sake.
Thank you, sir.
What I'm trying to say.
7 minutes past the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah. On
a meh Friday afternoon.
It's super meh.
But
we have to have a good time over the next 2 hours to pick everybody out of their doldrums.
Yeah. I mean, at least in this corner of the world, all is right and well.
Right. Exactly.
That's good. Very good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any plans?
This weekend, Final Four party tomorrow night.
Oh, are you though?
Yeah.
Final Four. So the Bucks start at 4 tomorrow.
Oh, do they?
Then you go right into basketball. I mean,
basketball starts at 6.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Very nice. Me too. Who's your team?
Miami.
Oh, Miami.
Here's the thing.
I'm going for Eastern Florida.
That's fine. No, Florida Atlantic.
What?
Eastern Florida. Is that a team?
I just made that up.
A team. Yes.
Just made it up.
First of all, it's an ACC team.
Yeah.
Pitt almost beat them twice. Almost.
Miami.
Beat them twice.
Yeah.
And they just played such an unbelievable game versus Texas the other night.
Yeah.
Or the other day. I don't know if it was Sunday day or night. I don't know. I watched it when it was already over.
Yeah. So
it was really exciting. And I'm back in Miami.
The culmination of it all. Yeah.
And did you see their coach dancing after they got in? That was very funny.
Excellent. Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's good. It's a nice weekend,
yeah,
right?
So that's my party. Do you have plans?
I'm going to hang out with a buddy of mine Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
His wife's going to see Steel Magnolias at the Public. So she's like, why don't you guys, okay, so we'll hang out a little bit.
Okay. Lex, do you have a plan?
Not really. Just going to Ohio.
Oh, Tonight.
No, not tonight.
Be
Tomorrow.
blown off the road. Be careful out there. Okay.
Might not be the best
careful.
day to go, my friend.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see how it looks
Yeah.
like in Ohio. You
Hey,
know.
listen, I thought about you because there's a new, this is weird, a Dungeons and Dragons movie out. Have you
Oh,
seen
I
it?
know.
Yeah,
I
what do
want to
you
go
know
see
about
it
it?
so bad.
What do you hear?
I heard it's not bad.
Yeah, I've heard it's very fun, and it's very how a normal session of a game would go, with a lot of comedy and a lot of jokes.
So it's lighthearted. and
Lighthearted.
not-
Excellent.
I'm very excited.
It's
to
in
see
theaters
it.
this weekend, right? Yeah, good.
And
Okay.
it stars.
I don't know.
Wait, I forgot.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, I don't
it
think
does.
so.
Not Leo.
Christopher Walken.
No, neither.
Marsden.
No,
Last
it's his
name's
birthday today.
Marsden.
I don't know.
It's Christopher Walken's birthday.
Is it?
Is it really?
He's an oldie. He's an oldie but a goodie.
We're going to
no.
talk about it later in the
All
show.
right. Okay. All right. Let's look at the news.
Okay.
Friday notwithstanding. Kath, please give us the top 4 at 4.
For Friday, March 31st, 2023. First off, I want to say happy birthday to Operations Manager Gary Dixon at Word FM.
It's the boss's birthday
It
today.
is his birthday.
Very nice.
We appreciate him very much. Hardest working guy here. So happy birthday to Gary. It's also my niece's birthday,
Is it?
Bethany, and I love her very much and want to say happy birthday. And it's also my brother-in-law's birthday, Kevin, who I also love
moly.
very much. Can you believe that?
It's like
all
a
three of them
trifecta
one
of
day.
birthdays here for you.
Yeah, so happy birthday to all of you. Number 1. On its editorial page today, the Wall Street Journal responded to Russia's arrest of their reporter Evan Gershkovich by saying the Kremlin has a new habit, John, of taking Americans hostage. That President Putin is now responsible for Mr. Gershkovich's health and safety, and the Biden administration has an obligation to press for his release. Though charged with espionage, the Journal denies the allegation, writing that Gershkovich has worked in Russia for years. If the FSB thought he was a spy, they could have expelled him long ago. They go on to say that the arrest of Mr. Gershkovich on an espionage allegation is the first since a U.S. journalist in Russia since the 1986 detention of Nicholas Danilov.
Really?
And, according to the Journal, shows the declining ability of the U.S. to deter assaults on its citizens. The Biden administration condemned the detention, and the Journal says they're grateful for it, but they say it's fair to ask why Mr. Putin believes he can snatch Americans and come out ahead.
Yes.
After the trade of WNBA star Brittany Griner for Victor Bout, who was serving, if you are forgetting, a 25-year sentence in Illinois for conspiring to kill Americans and sell weapons, the Journal says thuggish leaders will keep doing thuggish things if they think they'll pay no price.
Prayers for that quick release.
Number 2, Ukrainians mark the anniversary of the liberation of Bucha today with calls for remembrance and justice after a brutal Russian occupation that left hundreds of civilians dead in the streets in awful, terrible mass graves, establishing the town near Kyiv as an epicenter of the atrocities that we have all heard about in the war. According to ABC News, the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, said, "We will not let Bucha be forgotten." He said it at a ceremony there today, vowing to punish those who committed outrages there that are still raw. Human dignity, he said, will not let it be forgotten. On the streets of Bucha, the world has seen Russian evil unmasked.
Pray for peace.
Number 3, the National Weather Service, as you've already heard, has issued a high wind watch for parts of western PA, 8 a.m. tomorrow to 8 p.m. According to the National Weather Service, sustained winds of 25 to 35 and gusts to 60. Damaging winds could blow down trees and power lines, and widespread power outages are possible. Travel could be difficult, Lexi, according to the watch. Also,
stay home.
and if you think that isn't enough, severe thunderstorms in the late afternoon and early evening, including damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornadoes. That's from the Trib. And number 4, I've got a weird animal story for you.
Oh, for a Friday.
Tampa police officers were called to a commercial part of town because of a disturbance. It wasn't a public brawl. It wasn't anyone behaving in a disorderly manner. It was a 9-foot alligator ambling down the street right in the middle, not far from Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that is your top 4 at 4.
It's probably not unusual. You think? Alligators wandering around Florida?
It's very unusual for them to be in the middle of like where Raymond James Stadium is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Do you want to hear how they subdued it?
Please.
Do you really? 3 officers were there. I mean, God bless these people. An officer fastened what kind of looked like a noose.
Yeah.
By the way, the alligator's fine, if you're concerned. But a noose from a yellow rope, lassoed it around the gator's mouth, said, "Ready," and 3 police officers physically jumped on the alligator. One went for the head with outstretched hands, another weighed down the rest of the alligator's body, and a third officer came to jump on top of the first 2 because the gator was winning.
Shoo, man. And then they picked him up and put him in a truck?
They actually handcuffed him.
Handcuffed him?
Like they put his little short.
What?
I need to laugh. They put his little short legs behind his back.
Aw. He was just being an alligator.
He was.
He's traumatized.
He's fine. They took him, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission took him, quote, to a more suitable home.
Good gravy. All right. Poor alligator. All right, that's a wrap up of the news here.
Concerned about the people at Raymond James Stadium?
Well, no. I mean, first of all, it's not football season, right? So who's out there?
He's wandering around. It's like wandering on like PNC Park.
It's Florida. It's a very weird place. You know that.
WORD.
Everywhere you go, anywhere you go, Word FM goes with you.
That's because we're no longer trapped inside a radio.
We're now everywhere you are, and you carry us around in your pocket.
We're ubiquitous.
There's an app for that, right?
On TuneIn, on iHeart, on our own app, on wordfm.com.
The iPhone. The iPhone.
The iPhone.
iPhone. On your iPad, iPhone, and Android. We're always with you because we're inside your pocket.
Whatever you do, don't lose us.
101.5 WORD.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell with MyPillow is launching the MyPillow 2.0. When Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes it even better. The MyPillow 2.0 has the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, and now has a brand new fabric that is made with a temperature-regulating thread. The MyPillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, coolest pillow you'll ever own. Hey, this is John Hall. For my exclusive listeners, the MyPillow 2.0 is buy one, get one free with promo code WORD. MyPillow 2.0 temperature regulating technology is 100% made in the USA and comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square to the buy one, get one free offer. Just when you thought MyPillow couldn't get any better, MyPillow 2.0 gives you the best pillow ever. Enter promo code WORD or call 800-391-0954 to get your MyPillow 2.0s now.
Spring cleaning is upon us, but there's one meaningful box that you don't throw away when cleaning out your closet. It's the box filled with your family's important videotapes, film reels, and photos. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to help families organize and update their analog media to digital.
Legacy Box is simple and easy. It works and is safe. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
And Legacy Box has been featured in Good Housekeeping, The Today Show, and Rachel Ray.
Legacy Box is like magic, converting your shoebox of memories to the cloud or thumb drive, ready to watch and share.
Declutter your closet by digitizing your media. Become more organized and accomplished, knowing your family's recorded past is safe forever. Take advantage of our spring cleaning sale going on now. It's the easiest task to check off your to-do list.
For a limited time, you can get started for just $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/lbox to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/lbox to get our $9 offer. legacybox.com/lbox.
Hey everybody, Greg Laurie here from A New Beginning. You know, we're excited about our partnership with a oneplace.com app. You can listen to my messages anytime, anywhere, even offline without Wi-Fi with the One Place app. Now more than ever, don't you think we need to get God's word into our lives? So let his word fill you with hope in your office, in your home, or in your car, or wherever you are at oneplace.com.
Okay, so is it a lamb today? I mean, like a lamb?
No, it's not out like a lamb.
It's a sad lamb.
It's a lamb that's being blown into someone else's yard.
Well, tomorrow's April 1st. You got any April Fool's Days planned? Any little pranks around the house?
I'm not going to tell you if I did.
Glad we're not working together, right?
Exactly.
That day.
You're so lucky.
So tomorrow's April 1st, and of course, spring is here. And we are happy to welcome once again Doug Oster, editor of Gardening with Doug at DougOster.com. Doug always, he encourages us, even though Kath and I are pretty much clueless about our gardening ability. Doug, welcome back, friend.
How are you? The wind's going to blow my black and gold flamingos over to the neighbors, probably.
Listen, I almost fell down walking from my car to the front door of the building here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, the black and gold flamingo, though, Doug, is that something you special ordered?
No, actually, I found them locally, believe it or not. When I put this one book out called Steel City Garden, and a friend of mine who runs a nursery, she goes, we've got black and gold flamingos, and nice. I'm like, I got to get some of those. I got to see that.
It's a nice look, I'm sure.
Better than the pink ones, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Probably.
Have you ever been part of what do they call that? Whenever somebody does your entire front lawn with flamingos? Have you heard that?
Oh yeah, but they're never going to get to my front yard. I'm way off the road, so it's going to take a lot of driving and a lot of flamingos.
All right. Well, listen, my neighbor has already decided to get into the spring spirit.
Really?
Yeah, they've put plastic Easter eggs all over their yard,
okay.
which isn't necessarily my favorite thing, but everybody do
Is that a Pittsburgh thing?
Make their job, maybe. But what about people who want to maybe do something a little more back to nature with their yard? How do we know when the right time is to start?
Well, I just was writing about this today with all this rain here. The number one thing about getting into the garden, whatever you want to do, people want to get in there, they want to turn the dirt over. And after rain like this, that would be a big mistake. You never want to get into the soil when it's too wet. And so I always use this analogy. If the soil sticks to the shovel, it's too wet to work. And if you do make the mistake of working it when it's too wet, you get these big clumps which harden to about the consistency of bricks, and then all summer long you're dealing with that. And so we're already started now, but it's with things that love cool weather. And so in the vegetable garden, my peas are up.
Are they?
The peas have to be planted on St. Patrick's Day. That's what Grandma said, and that's the way it's going to be for me. But peas are up. You got to just know which crops love the cool weather and what can't stand it. And so peas, Swiss chard, arugula, lettuce, beets, things like that. These are all things that can go in. But how are you going to get them in if you can't turn the soil over? And so that's when our friend compost comes into play. We just get a couple bags of compost from the nursery for $5-6 a piece, throw them down on that bed, and now you got an instant planting area to put these seeds in, or plants if you could find the plants. And then on the flower side of things, this is the time to plant pansies. They love cold weather, and that's what we're doing here. We're looking for plants that not only survive cold, but they thrive in cold. All those plants that I talked about for the vegetable garden and the pansies can't stand hot weather. And so in my case, every year, I've been doing this forever, I've got containers close to the house where I just fill those up with beautiful, colorful pansies. Buy a couple flats at a nursery, they're cheap. And now you'll have, these flowers will go certainly to July 4th. And they put on quite a show. And don't wait until, a lot of people won't wait. They'll plant on Mother's Day. They will never plant before Mother's Day, and then they're done on Labor Day. We don't have to do that anymore. We can choose plants that love cold weather and basically almost have something in the garden year-round.
Interesting. So you're saying right now is a good time because then flowers will be up very soon.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing that we're looking at right now are our daffodils. And I just have one little tip for you there. Don't cut them, pluck them. You reach down to the very bottom of the daffodil and you pull it from the bottom, and you'll see that it's solid there, and it's going to last so much longer in the vase. And I am a daffodil fanatic. Where I grew up in Cleveland, where my grandparents are buried at Lakeview Cemetery, they have a thing there that started in the 1940s called Daffodil Hill. I visited there as a 7-year-old to visit the graves, and I looked behind me and saw Daffodil Hill and never forgot it. And when I moved to this garden here 20-some years ago, I told my mother I'm planting my own Daffodil Hill in memory of my grandparents. And so daffodils are my thing. Every day I'm going out there and I'm picking daffodils and I'm giving bouquets to people. I'm
it's wonderful,
putting them in vases. And this is the time to look at where your daffodils or other spring bulbs are and where they aren't. Take a picture, make a map, and now you know where to plant in the fall. And that's what I'm doing. people that just start gardening, like my son, he'll say, well, I don't want something that's only going to be blooming for a couple weeks. What's the point? I said, that is the point. Yeah. That is the point of this. I wait all year to see these daffodils, and I know how precious and how short of a time I have to enjoy them. And so the early ones are finishing up now. We're going to go to mid-season, then late, and this is what excites me, is that I'm soaking up every day I have with my daffodils. I know that might sound crazy to you, good. But it has that whole, family connection and connection really to childhood, and I'm gonna mark down and take pictures to where I'm going to plant already. The garden season is just starting. I'm already planning for fall planting. That's how nuts it can be.
I love how you do that. We're talking to Doug Oster, editor of Gardening with Doug at DougOster.com. Doug, ever since I can remember, I planted white Nancy every year, which is like a little ground cover because my mom's name was Nancy, and she used to get a kick out of it all the years that she was alive. And now that she's gone, it comes up every year, and I always think of her. So I think gardening like that is emotional. It is emotional. It's such a great thing. I want to ask you about early spring flowers, just a personal thing that you like. Candy tuft is one of my favorites. I love how white it is. It's just about the whitest flower. I love that it's early. What do you like other than daffodils that kind of get you excited about spring?
Well, when you talk about your mom like that, to me it goes to yellow crocuses. My mother wasn't much of a gardener.
Okay.
And when I would come running home from school, we lived in the middle of nowhere. She had this little patch of yellow crocuses right by our well, and I knew when I looked at those yellow crocuses, like I put two and two together. Oh, school must be almost over. The crocuses are blooming.
Oh, that's fun.
Every year, and I was doing so well when I was cleaning out that house. We've all had to do it, But when I turned around and I saw those yellow crocuses the day that I was cleaning out that house, it was very emotional for me. And so even though the chipmunks eat my crocuses in the spring after they're done blooming, I have to have my yellow crocuses. And so every fall I'm planting yellow crocuses.
Oh,
one little trick is I'm soaking them in deer repellent, this stuff called Bobex that really stinks. So you just kind of soak them in there. Then I can plant them. It keeps them safe for at least that year, maybe the next year. But I buy them cheap at the end of the season, but I have to have my yellow crocuses. When I see them, just like you, with the Nancy, I think of my mother when I have these crocuses. And I have so many other plants that are connected to people that I know or knew. And people always ask me, what should I grow? What can I grow? I said, I can tell you what does good for me, but all these plants there's a different reason they're in the garden. Why the crocuses are in the garden, why the certain snowdrop that a guy gave me and then he passed away. And so when I see that snowdrop blooming when I walk in the vegetable garden, I talk to him. I say, hey, Len, how you doing? Mm-hmm. And the thing, though, that at my age that I'm thinking about, though, is no one else is going to know the special meaning of all these flowers that are in the garden. And I just hope that the next gardener that's here will at least just appreciate the blooms. A sad story, my neighbor up the hill, he passed away a couple years ago, and his wife passed away. And he had the most beautiful garden you could ever imagine, and somebody bought the place and bulldozed it down. They're gonna flip it. And
oh my gosh,
it's 25 years of this guy building a garden. He wasn't a gardener. He had a quadruple bypass, and while in his recovery, he started reading Japanese garden books. And we were just the best of friends. I would walk up to his property line. I'd call him. He'd come down to his property line. We'd sit there, have a nice cold lemonade,
Sure.
And and we would just sit there and talk gardening. We were very close. And actually, one of his neighbors emailed me and said, "You don't even come up here. Don't come up here. You won't believe it." I couldn't stop. I drove up, and I was just. As the older you get, the more you start thinking about this stuff, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Why? He had the most beautiful tree peonies and blue atlas cedar and a huge birch tree, and he spent all summer driving around with his wife, going all over within 2 hours of here, picking up rocks and special trees and special plants, and he had ponds and waterfalls.
Wow.
It's just been leveled, and for a gardener and to have a gardening friend like that for all those years, it's really heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. That sounds devastating, Doug.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess the theme here is the emotional aspect of gardening, and you and Kath are talking about gardening as far as a memory springboard as well.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And I think anybody that gardens, we go past the therapeutic nature of gardening. There is such a wonderful therapeutic nature for gardening where they just have one pot growing something or house plants, whatever it is. But as you get older, I think you start thinking about, my mother used to have this plant, or my uncle, or my buddy, or there's just this connection that gardening has. And believe me, I'm a very nostalgic person, and I write about this all the time, and I hear from people tell me these beautiful stories about, just like you did, Kathy, about these plants that connect them to people, that they love, and I love those stories. For me, that's like the best part of my job is to be able to tell those stories and to be able to have a place where people can tell those stories, because they're really, really powerful stories. And daffodils actually have, for most people, usually has some kind of connection, with somebody that they loved. Whenever I post daffodil stuff, I get lots of comments on social media, and I'm always asking people, what do your plants mean to you, or who are you connected to? And I love those stories. Like I said, it's the best thing about my job, really.
Doug Oster is with us, editor of Gardening with Doug at DougOster.com. Doug, we're already over time, but wait, I got to ask you a question. Don't hit that button yet, John. You mentioned cold weather crops, planting stuff that likes cold weather. You mentioned peonies. Pansies, sorry, not peonies.
Daffodils.
You talked about daffodils. My chives are up. What about other things that our listeners can think of putting in the next couple weeks?
Lettuce, if we're talking vegetables, lettuce, Swiss chard, arugula, other greens, beets, let's see, what else? Peas, more peas.
Asparagus?
Asparagus is more of a perennial, but it loves cold weather, but when you plant that, though, it takes like 3 years,
Forever,
so let's not go there. But go to your local nursery, either find seeds or plants, tell them you want cool weather stuff, and they'll have it all there. All the crops like cabbage, broccoli, kale, that sort of thing. You can't kill kale. And before we go, I know I'm over time, kale's really good for you, but only edible with bacon. Okay. That's all yours.
Very good. Okay, but no, you brought up one thing. Local nursery, Doug, as opposed to a big box.
No, definitely. They're filled with great information. And number one thing about a local nursery, they keep the stuff watered. The biggest, most important thing they do is dragging that hose around. If it hasn't been watered, it might look good coming off the truck, but if it hasn't been watered, you got about a 50-50 chance of making it live. When you get it from a good nursery, you're not going to pay any more money, and you're going to get a quality plant that's been taken care of. Just trust me on that. Go check it out yourself. And the information that those people have, I spend my whole life about gardening, but I can learn so much from them because they spend every day with those plants.
Nice. Local is better, and there's no doubt about that.
All right, that's Doug Oster,
Definitely.
editor of Gardening with Doug. Find him at DougOster.com. Doug, thank
Always
you.
enjoyable,
We love
Doug.
you.
Very good.
Thanks, guys.
Our pleasure. Doug Oster. Fabulous, isn't it? I really like the idea of memory and garden together.
I know, me too.
Really interesting stuff.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Hi, it's me, Marcia, at the Spring House. Did you know Easter's springing up on us? And quickly, too. Do you know what that means at the Spring House? Well, first of all, it means you can enjoy the freshest, tastiest, fried or baked cod every Friday night on the farm. It also means it's time to call and order your Spring House Easter goodies. Our hickory smoked hams are extra special. We use only real hickory wood from the farm to slowly smoke these old-fashioned treats to perfection. Order a whole or half and we'll send along cooking instructions, too. How about Springhouse scalloped potatoes and homemade applesauce to go with that ham? Finish off your meal with a from-scratch Springhouse coconut cream pie or custard pie or a chocolate log cake. Oh, and you can even decorate your table with our adorable bunny breads and eat them too. Easter also means our annual Springhouse Easter egg hunt and Palm Sunday feast. Check us out at springhousemarket.com for all the details. Celebrate this most joyous holiday at the Springhouse in 84, Pennsylvania.
Roofing, siding, or remodeling? 724 New Roof.
101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
If you've been in an auto accident, even if you weren't injured, you've probably been contacted by someone urging you to go to a certain medical facility or a certain attorney to seek money from an insurance company. Auto insurance companies pay billions of dollars in medical claims each year, and they are a target for fraudsters who shop for accident victims who may or may not need treatment. They want your insurance information so they can bill for unnecessary visits and treatments that you may never receive. All of this adds up to higher insurance premiums for all of us. Insurance fraud is something you don't want to be involved in. There are ways you can protect yourself. If you're involved in an accident, talk to your insurance company first. Don't provide your insurance or personal information to someone that solicits you or tries to refer you. If you are injured, only deal with legitimate medical professionals and facilities. If you suspect medical fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB or visit www.nicb.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
A high wind watch in effect tomorrow morning through tomorrow evening. For tonight, windy and mild, periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 53. Winds gusting past 45 miles per hour tomorrow. Some sunshine, then turning cloudy with a heavy gusty thunderstorm in the afternoon. Strong winds can produce power outages and tree damage. Will reach a high of 67. Mostly sunny skies Sunday with a high of 50. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
It's time now for this or that.
I'm prepared.
Kath has a list. I've got a list.
Yep.
It doesn't really mean anything. It's just a list we have. And so you choose this thing or that thing. That's why it's called this or that.
Aptly named.
All right. Shall I?
I sit ready to receive.
Fasting. Dieting.
Oh, fasting. Dieting's just so depressing.
Mary Baker Eddy. Joseph Smith.
I don't know who Mary Baker Eddy is.
Christian Scientist.
Oh, I get to pick the Mormons or the Christian Scientists?
Mary Baker Eddy, Christian Scientists, or Joseph Smith.
What kind of...
It's this or that is what that is.
I mean, I guess I'm going to choose Mormons.
Oh, are you? I don't know. I mean, there used to be a Christian Science reading room in my neighborhood.
Yeah, but they don't approve medical intervention for their children if they're sick.
True.
I think that's a little bit of a problem.
It is. So you're saying Mormons? Joseph Smith.
Yep.
All right. Springtime in Paris. Autumn in New York.
Oh, both very nice options. I'm going to go springtime in Paris because I've never done it.
Of course.
I've done the autumn in New York.
Fabulous.
It's very nice.
All right. Sabbatical. Retirement.
Sabbatical. Thank you.
Palm Sunday. Good Friday.
Well,
it's this or that.
Palm Sunday.
All right. Really? All right.
You always make it sound like I've chosen the wrong one.
O'Neill Cruz.
Yeah.
Kutch.
Oh, I mean, seeing Kutch up at home plate yesterday, it was like he never left.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love Cruz, and I do, I'm choosing Kutch.
All right. For one meal, eating the cultured meat woolly mammoth meatball. Forever, eating grape nuts.
Grape nuts, that'd be
Forever.
so easy.
Forever.
I'm fine with it.
Oh, really?
It's delicious, all natural.
Festivus, April Fool's Day.
I'll choose the airing of grievances.
Saying goodbye to Christy. Saying goodbye to Diane.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's this or that.
Well, because I know what Christy was going on to in her new job, I'm saying goodbye to Diane.
Singing the national anthem on opening day. Throwing out the first pitch on opening day.
You mean for me to do it?
Yeah. It's this or that.
I'd stink at both of them.
No, you would sing the national anthem beautifully.
Poorly? No, I
Beautifully.
wouldn't. I would not.
I'd pay to see that.
I would. Okay.
We can make that
Well, you'd
work.
be
I'm sure we can reach out with the
That's the
Pirates.
last-
You want to do it?
No, I
Come
don't
on.
want to do it.
Christy, you want to do it?
I have no desire to do that.
Come on. Three of us. I'll get up there. I'll sing harmony. Oh.
We're not doing it.
Oh, say.
And plus, I could never get a ball from the mound to home plate.
No, you moving closer.
Okay, if they're moving really closer, I'd throw out the first pitch.
That's it. That's my this or that.
All right, that's
Very
good, John.
All right, very nice.
What's the thing about like Lexi or Christy's last day and Diane's last day?
What's wrong with that?
Okay.
That's what's happening this week.
Yeah,
Diane, we love you.
I know.
We love you,
Really,
Diane.
the whole thing was so upsetting thinking about
Horrible.
it. Yesterday was opening day for Major League Baseball.
We salute them.
Everything comes up roses on that day. It's all optimism.
Lovely.
It's all goodness. There's not and you know what? Nothing of the past is included.
Nope.
Nothing.
Fresh start.
Nothing.
Turn the page.
And so I give you the clean slate edition of this or that.
I need a clean slate
That's
myself.
what this is.
Yeah.
Every question, clean slate.
All right, good.
Number 1, Bradenton or Latrobe?
I'm doing Bradenton.
Who could pick Latrobe? I mean, I love... well, that's why I asked the question. Number 2, leave radio and return to acting, or leave radio and return to sales?
Oh boy. I don't want to. I don't want to do either. I don't want to do either
This
one.
or that, John.
I don't want to do either one. Okay, I'll go back to acting.
Okay. Number 3, have more kids or have more money?
They took all my money, so I need some more cash. I'm happy with the 2 I got. I don't know how they. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please.
Got it. Number 4, live in the city or live in the country?
Live in the country.
Live in the country or live in the suburbs?
Live in the country.
Really? You would choose living in the country?
I would.
You would?
Yeah.
That's really interesting to me. You love all things about the city.
I
You're
know
a
I
very
do, yeah.
cityish person. All right.
But sometimes I'm sick of it. People.
Number 6,
Yeah.
buy a sports car or buy a luxury SUV. Clean slate. Nothing about your past.
Sports car.
Okay.
Fire it up.
Number 7, learn a foreign language.
Yeah.
Or learn to play a musical instrument.
Oh, learn to play an instrument.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, I think about that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8, let your kids have a smartphone later than you did, or make your kids get a job at an earlier age than you did.
That's an excellent one.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, I would forego the smartphone.
Okay, last one. Read the hard copy newspaper every day or news online every day.
Come on, hard copy paper in my hands. Turn the page.
101.5 WORD.
I won! Yes!
And we want you to win too. So sign up to receive our contests and sweepstakes update. Each Friday, you can see new opportunities to win. We regularly give out prizes from books, music, and merchandise to household items, even vacation trips or car payments. Stay up on all the fun. Subscribe to our contests and sweepstakes update, mailed each Friday.
Sign up today at wordfm.com/subscribe.
Doing it right. Roofing, siding, and remodeling. The first Owens Corning
MVP in Pittsburgh and one of the longest tenured platinum contractors in the Pittsburgh region. Doing it right, roofing, siding, and remodeling. Call 724-NEW-ROOF. That's 724-NEW-ROOF.
Want it done right, call Doing It Right.
Are you a writer who's devoted your time to writing a book with Christian morals behind it but need help to get it published? Maybe you wrote a children's book, your memoirs, a devotional, or a mystery with strong moral values at its core. Covenant Books has helped faith-based authors publish, edit, and sell their books through Christian bookstores and major online book retailers. Plus, if you call now at 888-441-5020, we're offering a free author's information kit to help you through the publishing process. Our experienced and dedicated staff will review and notate your manuscript with an editor's eye. Then our page designers will format your book to create the appropriate experience for your readers. And if needed, Covenant's talented illustrators will bring your book to life. Most importantly, Covenant Books will help tell your story by printing, marketing, and distributing your book through specialty Christian bookstores and major online book retailers like Amazon, Apple, and many others. Covenant Books. Let us help tell your story. For your free writer's guide, call 888-441-5020. That's 888-441-5020. 888-441-5020.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
Lowe's MVP's bonus days are back for pros. Right now, buy a DeWalt 20-volt Max Power Stack Battery 2-pack at $199 and get a select DeWalt Bear Tool free. Plus, earn 3 times the bonus points on all Metabo HPT tools and products. Shop even more savings and bonus points offers during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid 3/20 through 3/31. Subject to change. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. Visit Lowes.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
Roofing, siding, or remodeling?
Want it done right, call Doing It Right.
724-NEW-ROOF.
Hey, welcome back. Happy that you're with us. It's our Friday show. Kathleen, I got good news and not so good news stories. What would you like to hear?
Well, I'm going to move it around.
Okay.
I usually say bad news first, but this time I feel...
Going for some good news?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, this is from our friends Kathy and Tim Keller. Now, of course, famous for many decades at Redeemer Church in Manhattan.
Right.
And, of course, Tim is suffering through a long and protracted cancer diagnosis. But the Kellers wrote this on their website. Gospel in Life is where you can find the Kellers. And so for years, they have categorized sermons and talks. The thousands, and literally the thousands of sermons and talks that Tim has produced over these many decades. Now, Gospel in Life, which is an offshoot of Redeemer Presbyterian Church, has made these available to subscribers for a low fee. Mm-hmm. Well, as of yesterday, the Kellers announced yesterday on Gospel in Life website that they are making the entirety of everything that they have produced over the many years free.
Really?
Totally free. They say it's always been our goal to one day make all of our sermons available for free. Now, with the generous and faithful support of our Gospel in Life listeners from our podcast, YouTube, and radio ministries, we are in a position to do just that.
How about that?
So if you go to Gospel in Life, easily found on the web, there's a little menu bar on the right-hand corner, and there's a listing that says library. You click library. It'll say books, sermons and talks, manuals and papers, studies, USBs. And you don't even have to make an account. But, of course, if you do make an account, easier for you. And apparently right now, these are not searchable, but they're saying soon and very soon they'll have this up and running where it is searchable.
That's absolutely
Isn't that
terrific.
Cool?
Hey, while we're talking about that, this would be a good week to pray for Tim.
Oh, you sure would.
Tim, as I understand it, we talked to Kathy and Tim a couple weeks ago. He was going to be at the NIH this week.
Yes.
And so
restarting
his kind of immune system and reinserting T cells and that sort of thing, which is
sort of like a reset.
Really rigorous procedure that Tim already went through.
Yep.
So he's going through it again. So if you have been touched by the ministry of Tim and Kath, or you've really enjoyed them on the show here over the last couple years, then I want to ask you to lift them up in prayer this week.
Good. All right. I also have.
What's the bad news? Is it that's the good news? Tell me.
Yeah.
Is this going to bring me down?
No, I bring this up, and I'm not making in any way light of someone's suffering. I bring this up because I've never heard of this before. This is from a website.
That's an ominous beginning. Lexi, you with me on this? You paying attention here? This could be scary.
Website is IFL Science. A woman has explained what it was like to fall into one of the world's most deadly plants. Australia's infamous, and then I'm going to maul this pronunciation here, Dendrosoidin morotis, I don't know, more commonly known as gimpy gimpy. I can do that. Gimpy Gimpy after the town where it was discovered, or the stinging tree after what it will do to you with gusto. Apparently the plant, a type of nettle, is toxic all over, but especially on the stems. Among the first to come across the tree was North Queensland road surveyor A.C. McNamavillin in 1866. He reported that his pack horse had been stung by the tree before the horse became mad and died within 2 hours.
Oh, my.
In short, a plant. It is not the kind of plant you want to slide into while mountain biking, which is what happened to this woman, 42-year-old Naomi Lewis. She did near her home in Cairns, Australia, covering her legs in hairs from the plant. She says this, the pain was beyond unbearable. The body got to a pain threshold, and then I started to throw. My husband took her to a pharmacy, she said, to buy wax strips in an attempt to get the tree hairs out while waiting for an ambulance. He and others heated the wax strips on his car, removed what they could in the hospital where she stayed for a week. They couldn't do much more than throw heat blankets on her legs and manage her pain. She said, I've had 4 kids, 3 cesareans and 1 natural childbirth. None of these even came close to the pain I've experienced. Can you believe that? She was discharged with painkillers, but 9 months later, she can still feel sudden sharp pains in her legs like someone has pinged her with a hard rubber band. Other people who have been stung by the plant have described it as the worst kind of pain you can imagine. How about that?
What's the name of the plant again? The bungo bungo? What'd you call it?
Wait, let me wait.
No, I don't want the Latin name from you.
Wait, let me give it a shot. Let me give it another shot.
Well, I promise it'll sound nothing like the last time you pronounced it.
You got that right? I have no clue. What's it called? Wait, what did she say? Let me go back here. I have to go back to the IFL Science site. Gimpy Gimpy. Gimpy Gimpy.
I feel like they should make it sound a little more predatory.
After the town where it was discovered. I mean, you think,
The town is Gimpy Gimpy?
Here, Australia's stinging trees inject a spider-like venom that causes agony for days. Gimpy Gimpy. Holy smokes. Mother Nature's rough, huh? Do not mess around with her.
Listen, I was watching a video on YouTube last night of, it was like one of those kind of lame videos, but I get sucked into them. And I know, Lexi, you do too, about like animals who become friends.
Oh,
like
sure.
the dog that brings home the cow and says, like, can't the cow stay?
Besties.
Right? 2 dogs that brought a goat to their dad, and they were like,
we can't get rid of the goat.
Like, can we live with us? Anyway, but this dog was playing with a black panther. And I knew that this was a happy video, and so he wasn't going to be eaten. Right. But all I could think of is this dog's going to be eaten.
Who knew?
I mean, because nature's rough. Nature's rough.
So someone's standing there filming this poor dog, thinking.
Well, I guess that I'm guessing it had a happy ending, or at least if he was slaughtered, it wasn't on video.
Well, that's rough.
Yeah, nature's rough.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we need to take a step away. When we come back.
Well, thank goodness for the Kellers for some good news.
Right.
Because the Gimpy Gimpy story, that is rough.
That's horrible.
Holy smokes.
The Associated Press tells us about what we can do with our palms after Palm Sunday.
Oh.
Would you do this?
Palm.
I always forget and leave it at church.
I'm not good at that.
It took a panicked run on a major bank to lead to the second biggest bank failure in U.S. history. And Moody's just downgraded the entire U.S. banking system from stable to negative. Just a reminder why many people diversify their portfolios with something tangible, something that doesn't need bailing out, something that can't vanish into thin air. Learn the truth in Swiss America's shocking report, The Secret War on Cash. This all-out war against cash is a war against the Constitution, against all freedom-loving Americans. You must read The Secret War on Cash. Get your free copy by calling or texting 800-630-1495. That's 800-630-1495. This all-out war on cash, digital forms of currency too, is growing daily. So please get and read The Secret War on Cash, free to Salem listeners by calling or texting now at 800-630-1495. Make sure you mention Salem when you call or text 800-630-1495.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell with MyPillow is launching the MyPillow 2.0. When Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes it even better. The MyPillow 2.0 has the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow and now has a brand new fabric that is made with a temperature-regulating thread. The MyPillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, coolest pillow you'll ever own. Hey, this is John Hall. For my exclusive listeners, the MyPillow 2.0 is buy one, get one free with promo code WORD. MyPillow 2.0 temperature-regulating technology is 100% made in the USA and comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square to the buy one, get one free offer. Just when you thought MyPillow couldn't get any better, MyPillow 2.0 gives you the best pillow ever. Enter promo code WORD or call 800-391-0954 to get your MyPillow 2.0s now.
MTS stands for Master of Theological Studies, and it's a 2-year degree for those who want to just deepen in their theological knowledge.
With an MTS degree from RPTS, you can be ready for whatever God calls you to.
We have 3 areas of concentration: biblical counseling, biblical studies, either the Old or the New Testament. You can also do one in doctrinal or historical studies.
Learn how to get your Master of Theological Studies degree entirely online at rpts.edu. RPTS, study under pastors.
With Easter coming up, have you ever wondered what life would be like if Jesus had remained in the grave? The truth is, without the historical, physical resurrection of Jesus, we would be without hope for our own resurrection. That's the topic of a book titled With a Mighty Triumph, available at Truth for Life today. Request your copy at truthforlife.org/donate to help you prepare for Easter.
Of course, Palm Sunday is this Sunday. And I don't know about you, whatever your church is like, but growing up, there were always a certain group of kids in our church who were like really crafty. Their parents put together like palm wreaths. Or palm
that wasn't my
sort
family.
Of geometrical displays.
Mm-hmm.
Folding,
braiding, weaving.
Yeah. Well, apparently you can learn how to do a palm weaving. Some churches, and I don't know if there's any here in the city of Pittsburgh, but they offer palm weaving workshops. Would you be interested?
No.
That's pretty definitive. But you might wiggle a little bit and go, feign some interest. I mean, just for the sake of conversation. I mean, give me a little something.
It is
there.
a talk show, right?
Yeah. I mean, no kind of shuts things down a little bit. I mean, you give me, hey, Lex, how about you? Would you be interested?
The proper term is yes and, of course. But...
There you go. God bless you.
All right.
Yes and. There you go. She's got a future as a talk show host. Yes and. Yeah, well.
How would we do that, John?
Well, as I said, I know of none locally. However, I'm reading an article from today's Associated Press that palm weaving workshops join faith and culture for Palm Sunday. I love Palm Sunday.
Oh, me too.
Right?
It's a sad day, don't you think? I mean, it's a sad day that everyone is so excited for Jesus to come into town.
There he is.
And then, 4 days later, they're like, send us Barabbas. It's just really, it's a sad, really sad
This is the
day.
best week for
Yeah,
me.
I know.
Holy Week is
Yep.
just fabulous. I mean, fabulous into me.
Yeah.
like I'm,
Right.
some game show host. Hey, how's Holy Week? Fabulous. You got these fabulous guests, fabulous prizes. Here's your toaster oven for Holy Thursday. I mean, what the heck, John? Fabulous.
But it's the emotional, it's the
high highs and the low lows.
Yeah. Yep. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I'm not going to go much further with the palm weaving thing because it was a definitive no. So I don't think I'd hold your interest for
Okay,
that.
this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
In all of my years, I always had a hard time connecting with like a women's group or something.
Yeah.
Because there were so many crafts associated with them.
So you're not a crafty person?
No, I'm really not a crafty
Mhm.
person. And the last thing I'm interested in is another
craft
piece of another crappy thing for my house. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, wait.
See, I know that sounds mean.
Yeah.
I'm not. If I'm going to make it,
Yeah.
it's going to be crappy.
Yeah, but the part of the crafty process is the crowd that you're with.
When have you ever, as a man,
I can't.
been invited to a craft thing?
It's been a long time.
Okay, thank you.
But my favorite thing in our entire kitchen,
Yeah.
what is it? My kids' little crappy potholders. I love those
Okay,
things.
yeah.
That's the extent of my craftiness.
Sure. Okay. Were you there when they were making them?
Yes.
Okay.
In the church basement.
All right. That's good.
Yeah. So
That's good.
and I still use them. I mean, these
Right.
things are like.
Okay. What if you had made them?
I would be embarrassed.
Exactly. And so would you be eager to do it again and make another thing that is also crappy?
But what about like when the women get together and they do like the painting
The
stuff?
women. You say that the women when the women.
I'm sorry. Is that misogynistic?
No, it's not misogynistic.
Okay.
It just,
Well, the women get together and they do the little painting.
Yeah, which is why I, as a woman who don't like that, don't feel like this is the group for me.
Don't you want to do a little painting?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, there's a segment for you right there. The anti-crafting crowd here on Christian Talk here, Word FM.
Listen on your smart speaker at wordfm.com, the Word FM app, iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. In your car or at home too at 101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh.
With the offer code ERIC.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Former President Trump arraigned on Tuesday. After his indictment, it came after a grand jury probe into hush money paid during the 2016 presidential campaign. In remarks at the National Review Institute, former Vice President Mike Pence says the Trump indictment sends a troubling message to the world.
There are dictators and authoritarians around the world that will point to that to justify their own abuse of their own so-called justice system. So I'm very troubled by it, but I think the American people will see through it.
The indictment itself has remained sealed for now. The Commerce Department reports the consumer price rose 0.3% from January to February. That's down from a 0.6% increase from December to January. On Wall Street, the Dow had 270 points. The S&P is up 37. This is SRN News.
Let's be real. Retirement is expensive, and inflation is making it even harder with the cost of everything going up from pet food to a dozen eggs. Wouldn't it be great if the cost of your health care could go down? Well, Medishare 65 Plus is $99 a month for ages 65 to 74. And for many with Medicare Parts A and B, looking at other options, that's 50% or more saved per month. No gimmicks. It's $99 a month, and you can use any Medicare-approved doctor or facility, and you get 24/7 access to telehealth from the convenience of your home. Better yet, Medishare is a Christian nonprofit organization. It's a community that'll pray for you and encourage you. And since we've cut out the middleman, you get to keep the savings. Call now. You can learn more about Medishare 65 Plus. Here's the number: 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, you're paying too much for your wireless service. Because Pure Talk gives you the exact same 5G coverage as one of those big carriers on the exact same network. but saves the average family over $800 a year. And Pure Talk doesn't lock you into an overpriced, unlimited data contract. Why pay for data you don't need? Instead, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. And switching is so easy. You can keep your phone and keep your number, or get huge discounts on the latest iPhones and Androids. So what are you waiting for? Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, type in your address to find the coverage at your home, then enter promo code HALF-OFF, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code HALF-OFF. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless.
When it comes to your child's education, do you feel like you have a partner in your current school? Or is it more like you're on your own? As you look ahead to next year, now's a perfect time to consider a quality Christian education with a school who will be a true educational partner for you and your family. Many of our area's finest Christian schools are offering half-price tuitions for first-time enrollees, like Champion Christian School in Champion, PA. Find a school that's right for you at wordfm.com/tuitions.
In 1966, Time magazine asked, "Is God dead?" Now best-selling author Eric Metaxas takes that famous question and turns it around when he asks, "Is atheism dead?" In his bestseller titled, "Is Atheism Dead?", Metaxas offers a provocative answer as he shows atheism to be not only implausible and intellectually sloppy, but also demonstrably ridiculous. Get your copy of Is Atheism Dead? Available now at Amazon.com and wherever books are sold.
A high wind watch in effect tomorrow morning through tomorrow evening. For tonight, windy and mild, periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 53. Winds gusting past 45 miles per hour tomorrow. Some sunshine, then turning cloudy with a heavy gusty thunderstorm in the afternoon. Strong winds can produce power outages and tree damage. Will reach a high of 67. Mostly sunny skies Sunday with a high of 50. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for coming along. 5 o'clock hour of a Friday show. We're happy that you're with us. Since the collapse of the steel industry, way back in the 1970s, it feels as though Western Pennsylvania, Allegheny County, the city of Pittsburgh, and surrounding environs, we have been in this long, slow spiral of losing population. Now, a couple of years ago, I thought we sort of bottomed out, and we were, the secret was out. Western Pennsylvania, a great place to raise a family.
Right, really, when Google came in, Amazon came in.
Still low housing costs,
right,
generally considering,
sure,
right, across the country. I mean, plenty of jobs.
We had the big Uber thing going on.
It's very safe. There's no tornadoes or hurricanes or flooding or whatnot. It's a good place to be. Well, in today's Trib, Allegheny County had the nation's 10th biggest population loss.
In what?
In the entire country.
In what span of time?
From July of 2021 to July of 2022.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. The decrease was the 10th largest in the country. This is from the Trib. Ryan Detto is the author. According to the census, Los Angeles County was the biggest loser, shedding 90,000 residents. I'm like, they're going to notice in L.A. County.
Right.
Followed by Cook County in Illinois, Queens, Kings, and Bronx counties in the New York region, Philadelphia County, Wayne County in Michigan, and Santa Clara and Alameda counties in California. Allegheny County Rich Fitzgerald said he was surprised by the county's large population loss because it has low unemployment, tens of thousands of job vacancies, a hot real estate market, and recent high retail sales. Quote, he says this, "It's something that we really need to look at. Why did you move from Pittsburgh and Allegheny County to Florida and Texas? We need to find out why."
Yeah.
Well, the weather's for one thing, I guess. You're a sun lover. But really, I mean, we've had friends recently who moved from Pittsburgh to Florida to retire. They were there less than a year. And they said that was a huge mistake.
Yeah,
we're coming back home. Yeah.
Yeah. Lexi, if you could, would you move to Florida or South Carolina or some warmer place?
Well, I did move to Texas for my first job.
That's why I'm asking.
And while the weather was amazing, it was so far away from people that I loved. And so I think when you're that far away in a job that maybe doesn't pay you enough, the housing market, at least where I was in Texas, I was in a pretty cheap place in Texas, so my rent was not very expensive. But a lot of other places, lowest rent I could find was about $1,000 a month. It's really hard to be so far away from people that you care about and be away from, memories and your life. Essentially, you're picking up and moving your life somewhere else. So I think that people leave because the people around them are not like the people that they are used to.
Yeah. Yep. That's what she said. Bingo. Is that the people, if you move to Florida, the people around you are not like the people you're used to.
Who am I going to hang out with in Florida, right?
Right.
I don't want to go to Florida.
Me neither.
I mean,
I'd like to go there now for a...
Sure. Give me a week at the beach.
Sure.
Happy to go there.
Yeah.
But to live there, especially, can you imagine like restarting your life?
Like, hey, I'm going to move down there. I'm going to find friends.
I know
I'm
no
going to
one.
find a church. I'm going to find a doctor. I'm going to find...
That's an awful lot. I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm going to get a driver's license. I'm going to get like that. That just doesn't appeal to me.
I mean, there's a lot of. I'm not saying Pittsburgh's all a bed of roses. Everybody knows that. I mean, there's a negative.
Well, based on the weather that I'm seeing outside the window, it's visually one of the most depressing places I've ever seen.
We never see the sun.
No, we never see the sun.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So what I've always said my dream scenario would be is to live in Pittsburgh and then just travel all over.
Float.
I'd much rather take my money and use it for travel than take my money and go buy something in South Carolina or something.
Well, I'd kind of like to live at the beach.
Yeah, see, you're different. See, I wouldn't like. I don't think I'd like to live at the beach.
Given my drug, someone said, "Hey, here's a beach house. Sign me up. I'm going to go and sit on the beach and listen to the beach and watch the beach
all year long." You
I would do that happily. Yeah,
okay.
I think so if I could. But again, I don't want to leave family and friends. Right?
Yeah.
If I could, a perfect scenario for me would be the day after Christmas. I go to my beach house and I stay there until May. And then come back home and spend the summer here, and fall, of course, and a little bit of winter, and then go back to the beach.
Okay. I mean, if you get that house, Lexi and I will visit. I promise.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah,
I promise.
Fine.
We would visit.
Right.
But I just don't think I would like that. Yeah. I just think I'm firmly rooted here. I think I need to stay.
That's fine.
We have a terrific show coming up, the 5 o'clock hour. But if you missed any of the last one, you can always find our podcast. I mean, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on, 45 platforms or something. You got to find it. The Ride Home with John and Kathy. In our 4 o'clock hour, we talked about spring gardening with Doug Oster. So if you want to know what you can plant now and when to know whether it's too early to dig. Also, we talked about perennials and
garden centers
and local garden centers and plants that mean something to you. I thought it was a good segment with Doug Oster. So you can check that out at our podcast. Also, we already played This or That. Coming up this hour, we've got the Week in Review at 5:35. Things to do in Pittsburgh this weekend. Also, we've got a couple celebrity birthdays to challenge John with.
Thank you.
And coming up next, our friend Drew Dyck will be with us. How small acts of kindness can change everything. And is it too early for me to tell you?
Tell me.
Your weekend has begun.
Fabulous. It's 11 minutes past the 5 o'clock hour.
Our guy was asleep. We had to rouse him, our fan, before.
Okay, on a Friday night, do you do anything like, I'm going to do it's Friday night? You have a little something special lined up? What do you
MYOP.
got? What?
MYOP.
What's that?
Make your own pizza.
Oh, is that a Friday night tradition?
Yep.
In the Emmons household? Is it really?
It's of recent acquisition. Yeah, recent vintage.
Do you have a pizza oven?
No, I don't. I have my oven.
Your home oven?
Yeah, it's not a pizza oven.
How hot does the oven get?
I set it for 500.
500? And
I make my own pizza.
Is it like
it's
pizza
dough? Yeah, it's dough that I buy from a local establishment that I'm going to talk about during our Week in Review. In fact, funny you should bring that up.
I'm happy to have that.
Yeah, do you have a Friday night tradition?
No, I don't. Although we're talking about doing a little, going out somewhere and have a little bite to eat somewhere.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do you know where?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you know where your friend has gotten established on McKnight Road?
Yes, but he's not open yet.
Okay.
My wife had drove by the other day and
Middle Eastern food.
Yeah.
We're very excited for this gentleman to get up and running on McKnight.
Yeah, our loss is your gain.
Yep.
As soon as we find out when the opening is, but I do know it's soon and very soon. Yes.
Okay, great. Lex, do you have any Friday night ritual?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just kind of go home and sleep.
Go. And then
there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, no.
And you wake up tomorrow morning and then you drive to Ohio.
Well, so I wake up. I drive to Ohio like more towards the middle to the end of the day.
Oh,
so.
Saturday night.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night event. That's my weekend usually.
Right. How about laundry? You guys, weekend
I started
laundry
it
people?
today. I just wanted to get a jump on it. I didn't want it all hanging over my head tomorrow.
How soon will you switch out your winter wardrobe to your summer? You still holding on to it?
I'm holding on. I mean, look at what's happening outside.
Right.
It's not like I'm getting the shorts out.
I bought a bathing suit the other day.
What?
I did.
Oh, isn't that optimistic?
Yeah. Well, I actually, my wife, we're going to go away, and she was like, I'm going to buy a new bathing suit. I was like, great. So she shows me some bathing suits online, and I go, very nice. Buy me one. So that's what happened.
So everybody got a bathing suit.
I got
Holy
a new one.
cow.
I'm all excited.
Jeez.
Just need a beach house.
Okay.
Just waiting for
All
that
right.
final piece of the puzzle
If any
to
of
come
you
my
out there
way.
would like to donate a beach house, please get back to us at 800-320-8255.
You got to earn your own beach house,
All
right?
right, fine. Coming up next, how small acts of kindness can change everything.
WORD.
Turning Point with David Jeremiah.
You know, we are made to know God. We were created to relate to Him, to know Him personally, as a father, as a friend, as a creator, as a sustainer. And when everything around us fails, He never does.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah for his series, The God You May Not Know, next time on Turning Point.
This evening at 7:30 on 101.5 WORD.
Hey, this Sunday is Palm Sunday, of course, which means next week is Easter Sunday.
It's hard to believe.
And if you're thinking about your menu for your family gathering, might we suggest you hang out with Marcia at the Spring House? Hey, Marsh.
Hi, how are you guys today?
We're well, Marsh.
Can't
And
complain.
I can't believe next week is Easter.
Holy smokes.
So first of all, we need to talk about Easter ordering. And then after that, tell us, do you have something planned for Palm Sunday?
We do. So the Easter orders are actually due Tuesday at noon. So this is a great weekend to hop online and check it out. You can go to it right on our website, and then the ordering form, you just hit the button, order here, and you can order right there. Take your time and decide everything. And, you know, we're taking orders for smoked hams, coconut cream pies, hot sauce buns. I mean, everything under the sun you can think of for Easter. And everybody's getting all pumped up here and excited about it. And then this Sunday, for Palm Sunday, we have a Palm Sunday feast every year. And we are having Springhouse Hickory smoked ham. And those are those hams that we smoke right here with using real hickory wood. I've never tasted a ham like this anywhere else.
Neither have I.
And how about you guys?
Love it.
It is
You kidding me?
so delicious.
We dream about it.
And then we're having celebration chicken romano, carving ham with pineapple molasses glaze, saucy meatloaf, chicken and gravy over biscuits, cabbage rolls, and turkey and stuffing. And then all kinds of homemade sides, including, you know, Spring's fresh parsnips and Spring's fresh carrots and all kinds of potatoes and Jell-O salads and homemade rice pudding. It's going to be a great meal.
Fabulous.
So that starts at noon on Sunday, and we're open until 7.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've got fun coming up.
Nice. Take your taste buds to a whole other level. Palm Sunday and Easter. Let Marcia in the Spring House do it. Order soon, though. Marcia says Palm Sunday this Sunday, of course. And then you've got to order for Easter by Tuesday of next week. SpringhouseMarket.com. Thanks, Marsh.
Thanks, guys.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell with MyPillow is launching the MyPillow 2.0. When Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes it even better. The MyPillow 2.0 has the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, and now has a brand new fabric that is made with a temperature-regulating thread. The MyPillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, coolest pillow you'll ever own. Hey, this is John Hall. For my exclusive listeners, the MyPillow MyPillow 2.0 is buy one, get one free with promo code WORD. MyPillow 2.0 temperature regulating technology is 100% made in the USA and comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square to the buy one, get one free offer. Just when you thought MyPillow couldn't get any better, MyPillow 2.0 gives you the best pillow ever. Enter promo code WORD or call 800-391-0954 to get your MyPillow 2.0s now.
I think we can all agree that every moment at Eden shaped us and impacted who we are right now.
The faith modeled by teachers at Eden Christian Academy has a profound impact on students' lives.
We carry with us more than the academics, but a strong, Christ-centered foundation.
I would just like to thank my teachers, my mentors, my family members, and my friends who have done the best they could to help me in this next phase of my life.
Eden Christian Academy, enrolling pre-K through 12th grade at EdenChristianAcademy.org.
It's rough out there, isn't it? It is so rough out there. Holy smokes.
I can't think of how many times you and I have come into work here at the station, and both of us are like, I'm exhausted. I'm worn out. And it never has anything to do with not having enough sleep. It's not that kind of exhausted. It's not like, wow, I stayed up too late.
No.
It's just
navigating
contemporary life and the current conversations that go on online or whatever. And maybe it's our job. I don't know.
No. I think it's just life. You think the pandemic was stress-filled or unkind. The sort of the backwash of the pandemic has made things even worse. I mean, maybe it's just me. I mean, my sort of, prickliness or paranoia or just feeling a sense of dread that surrounds us. I don't know. And that's unchristian-like to feel that sense of dread. But it is there. And I think a lot of it is just
be honest about how you feel.
Yeah, well, the interaction with, just people. The world would be great if it just wasn't for people.
Yeah, they do get in the way.
Yeah, they do. So, Drew Dyck is back with us. He's been a regular guest on our show over the years. He is the acquisitions editor at Moody Publisher, a contributing editor at ctpastors.com, author of Your Future Self Will Thank You, Secrets to Self-Control from the Bible and Brain Science. But he's got a brand new work that's not yet out, but he's here today to talk to us about small acts of kindness. And Drew, we can use a few small acts. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you. And isn't that the truth? And I'm right there with you guys when it comes to the tiredness. I've got 3 kids that are 11, 8, and 4.
Oh, my gosh.
And, I'm in my 40s now, so this isn't as easy as it used to be for me.
Right. No, it's not, no.
And you're right, the pandemic, I don't know what it is, because some of us just sat around in our pajamas. Like me, I can't really complain. I wasn't one of those essential personnel that had to get out there and actually do something.
Right.
But sitting there, reading all the bad news about what's going on in the world and trying to do everything and having your routines disrupted, I think it took its toll on a lot of people. So, yeah, it made its way into my writing. And so this book definitely has that starting point. Hey, what do you do? How can you serve God? How can you love others when you're exhausted? And the answer I've come to anyway is you just show up. Sometimes that's the best you can do. And it may not mean that you're totally prepared or you have the right thing to offer, but as the saying goes, 90% of success is just showing up. And so that's a lot.
All right. So showing up in different facets of life, the common denominator is showing up, but it looks different. Like, for example, my husband is a special needs teacher, and the problem that they've had at the school where he works, which is a school only for special needs kids, is how many people come and work there for a short period of time and then quit. And so he said he has this feeling, kind of pervades his work life sometimes, is that there aren't enough people around him who, like, the group of people committed to what they're doing is getting smaller. Do you know what I mean? And there are peripheral people who show up for a little bit, but then don't continue on. I'm sure that there are nurses in our audience who feel that way, or physicians who feel that way, or whatever, people who work in restaurants, people who work in the hotel industry. It just seems like our core, our core is smaller, and the pool, I don't know, the outsides have dropped off.
Yeah, and for the people who do show up, it's often harder. Like, I love that sign you see in a lot of restaurants. It's like, be kind to the people that are here. They're the ones who showed up. Right? Because so many restaurants and service industries are short-staffed right now. So I think that's one takeaway. Let's be considerate and kind to the people that did show up. Often they're dealing with even more because others didn't. And I think that's a huge part of this topic. I mean, in certain circumstances, certainly to be physically present. Whether or not your job requires that is another matter, but I think we can all think of ways that we can physically, literally show up for people, right? If someone needs a meal, if someone is hurting, is depressed, is lonely, there's nothing. I mean, a text is great, a phone call is fine, but man, there is something about people that show up for you when you're in a bad way or in desperate circumstances that makes a difference. And it's funny, when I think back on like the hard periods of my life, I honestly can't remember anything that people said to me. Maybe I just have a bad memory, but I can remember the people who were there, the people who actually showed up. And so as Christians especially, and this is, I mean, don't get me, on a theology kick here, but we serve a God who showed up for us in Jesus, who was incarnated physically, right? Amen. And so anytime we choose embodiment over disincarnation, essentially, which is hard to do in our very digital world, but whenever we can do that, whenever possible, man, I think that's huge. I think we're never more like Jesus than when we show up to people.
And Drew, I mean, like the basic things, right? And it feels good right away. I mean, like the most basic thing of like holding a door for someone. I mean, it's such a simple thing, but the interaction between the two people, you just feel better about humanity for a split second. I mean, like, and you said, you're making a meal for somebody. Okay. I mean, you make a meal, you deliver a meal. It's just it doesn't require a whole heck of a lot, right? We're not out there trying to change the world.
Exactly. And I think sometimes, at least I'm maybe projecting, this is my own experience. I grew up reading these awesome missionary biographies of people who were martyred for their faith or did something dramatic and changed the world in the course of history, and those are great. They're inspiring. But honestly, sometimes when you look at the reality of your own life, you go, oh, man, they can be a little demotivating, too, because you think, I've got to do something big, bold, and daring in order to matter. But that's not true. And I think it actually keeps you from doing those little things, those little acts of kindness, those little ways you can show up for people that are really important, that people do remember, that do make, a difference in their lives. And, it goes beyond, too, just showing up in person, although that's important. I kind of have been thinking about, whether it's your own personal spiritual life. Some people go, I'm going to memorize a whole chapter of the Bible or read through the Bible this year. Then they get discouraged and their Bible's sitting there covered in dust and shame. But my thing is, man, if you just crack your Bible every day, that's it. Read a couple of Psalms or a few verses from the Gospels, something. If you just show up and do that every day, or just pray a little bit every day, even if it's only for a minute or two, that adds up to a lot, and it just establishes that pattern of communing with God every day. That's so important. So I think sometimes we kind of despise the small beginnings and think we have to do something really big and dramatic in order to matter to God, in order to matter to other people, and that can immobilize us and keep us from doing the little things that we can do.
Amen.
That's Drew Dyck. His new book is called Show Up, How Small Acts of Kindness Can Change Everything, a guide for exhausted Christians. The new book is coming out soon, not yet dropped. We'll talk about when we can anticipate it before our segment ends. Drew, I think we've talked about this in the past because this is something that's of continual concern to me, is that I end up, and by virtue of the job that John and I have, investing a lot of emotional energy in what happens online. It's important that, we understand the different theological arguments that are going on. I don't mean they're necessarily bad ones, but, whatever people are talking about, whatever is going on in, current Christian culture is something that we have to, maintain an attention level on. But it really does become an emotion suck. And then when it's nighttime, and I'm telling you, if my next door neighbor needed something, I'm done. And so I'm using up all of my good stuff on things I can't really do anything about, because they're things that are happening online to people that live in other. It doesn't really mean a whole lot. Right. Well, it certainly doesn't mean I can't do anything about it. And so the people who are right around me that I could do something for, I don't have anything left for.
Well, so it's kind of reverse.
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, no, and that dynamic is so real. It's funny you mentioned that because, like, my wife Grace and I were talking about this the other day, and she was recounting the tragedies that she had encountered scrolling on Facebook, and I was talking about something that was happening in the news, and then you go, yeah, okay, that's tragic, and it takes a toll on you emotionally. Like, don't fool yourself, and even if you kind of get numb to it, it takes its toll. But you're right. The problem is that there's often, especially if it's a distant problem, there's not much you can do beyond praying, which is important. And then, like you said, though, someone in your vicinity, in your circle of friends, in your neighborhood, in your church, in your community needs something from you, and you may have invested all that emotional energy into problems that you can't solve, even big, like, geopolitical problems. So I think that is one thing. I think it's one tactic the enemy actually uses to distract Christians these days, is kind of cutting us. We get so riled up over politics, over international affairs, over threats that are coming down the pike in the news. And it actually prevents us from attending to the people that are right in front of us sometimes, even in the room with us because we're on our phone. Right. So I think that's a huge tendency and problem, something that we need to be aware of for sure.
Yeah. It's the modern age, is it not, right? We think we're making things better, but we're just making things worse.
Well, yeah, and you think that if we had access to all the information that the internet contains, we'd be better off.
No, it's the opposite again.
And I feel like I'm less, I don't know, maybe I'm less effective than I would have been if I didn't have access to all of it.
Yeah, like I love the quote from, I think it's Glenn Packiam. He's a pastor. He says, information without agency leads to anxiety, right? So you get all this information, but you don't actually have any control over it or even a way to influence it, and then it just creates anxiety.
Right.
So I think the more we can kind of even put our blinders on a little bit or just focus a little more on the people that God's placed in front of us, the better.
I'm into that.
Yeah, I think it was John Mark Comer who was on our show and said that we have a problem. I mean, not John and I, though John and I have many problems.
Many.
But
sorry.
we, as all of us, have a low action to information ratio. So we have a ton of information, but we take blessedly little action on it. Mm-hmm. And the other extreme isn't great either, but it's better. If we at least, a large action to information ratio, it would be good if we were at least doing things, but we could muck it up if we didn't really know what we were doing. But the way we're doing it now, I can't be good.
So unhealthy.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think we have all this new technology that gives us access to this, and we're just not prepared for it.
Yep. Drew Dyck is with us. His new work, it's still in the pipeline, Show Up, How Small Acts of Kindness Change Everything, a guide for exhausted Christians.
Now this is like a downer conversation. We're actually three, relatively good-humored people.
Pretty much so. Drew especially on Twitter, very funny guy.
Yeah. Okay. So,
sorry, Drew.
So it's not like
walked into this, we're whacking with a
all of a
football
sudden
bat.
we're like, boy, isn't this bad news? And isn't this bad news?
And I can't do anything about it.
Right. Okay. So
that's why we invited you, Drew.
So what's the antidote to all of this, like, gray?
Turn off your phone. Go do something nice.
Hey, there's one right there. Absolutely. It does involve certainly limiting certain activities, certain escapist behaviors, or just spending too much time online. But the thing I keep coming back to is, and it sounds counterintuitive, but is kind of lowering your aim a little bit sometimes, because that often prevents us from doing anything. And so I talk in the book about, hey, you need Christian community. Just show up for church, even if you're late, or you don't have to lead a Bible study. You don't have to become an elder. At least initially, just show up. That's huge in and of itself. Mm-hmm. Just being there, and like I said, just cracking your Bible every day, just going to God in prayer every day. When you see a need pop up, even if you don't have the answer or the solution, just be with that person. So I think it's just kind of moving throughout your life, committed to take those small little steps that God nudges you toward. And that sounds easy, but sometimes it isn't, right? Mm-hmm. But just having that kind of baseline commitment to showing up for people and for yourself. And, I think we need a lot of self-care, especially in this time, too. Some people have this idea that they're going to burn themselves out for Jesus, when really, if you don't take time to get that relaxation, the time away from your desk or your job, the time with your family, the time alone, you're setting yourself up for failure. So you got to make sure you're doing that too. And then just being present for the people around you. This is a tough one for me because it's easy when I'm with my kids just to check out kind of on my phone and not really even be present, even when I'm physically there, right? And so that's a huge challenge too. So I'm still figuring this out, but I'll let you know what I come up with as I go. And John, I appreciate your kind words about my dumb dad jokes that I tell on Twitter. Not everyone, if you can believe it, not everyone appreciates it.
Really?
I know.
Quite honestly, I think you're hilarious. You do a very good job. And my guess is your kids think you're hilarious too.
No, they don't think I'm funny at all.
That's
and
sad.
my wife has even said that I need to get some new material sometimes. That's especially hurtful.
Boy, that's harsh from the spouse.
New material.
That's harsh from the spouse to hear that you need new material.
Grace, please.
A prophet has no honor.
Yeah, in his own hometown.
Exactly.
Sorry about that.
The
Hey,
verse that comes to mind.
when does the book drop, Drew?
So it actually doesn't drop until the fall.
Okay.
But I'm finishing up. Although it is, someone pointed out to me the other day, I didn't even know, it's on Amazon. So if someone wants to pre-order it and they have the patience to wait that long, go for it. I'd love that.
Very nice. Good. So that we can not wait to do small acts of kindness until the fall. It's best if we could do it now.
Amen.
Amen.
Good
Drew,
to
always
talk
a pleasure.
to you, Drew.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
Drew Dyck, your future self will thank you. Secrets to self-control and forthcoming as well. Drew Dyck. God calls us to a deep gladness because we, as believers, we all have a deep hunger. Grove City College knows about that calling, right? They assume, we all do, that caller is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And so Grove City is committed to helping people, young students, pursue the vision for our lives and believe that you'll be changed as you find your sense of purpose, your sense of calling in this world.
And I think that's what we all want out of college, right? We want those 4 years that are filled with so much uncertainty to be ones that end up giving us the clarity we want.
To give us a place.
Yeah, and to give us the foundation of education and the foundation of relationships that we really want. Grove City's a special place, and not every school appeals to every kid or every parent. But this is the time, we're already in March, this is the time when applications are going out. This is the time when you need to make your college visits, your college, your phone calls, all those sorts of things. So if you're a parent of a high school senior or even a high school junior and sophomore who's interested in getting on the ball, this is the time to do it. So do yourself a favor and go up to Grove City and talk to somebody, get a tour from a student, and find out if that indeed is the right place for you and your family.
We're all called to something. Don't you owe it to yourself to investigate the excellence of Grove City College? Look online first, gcc.edu. That's Grove City College.
With Easter coming up, have you ever wondered what life would be like if Jesus had remained in the grave? The truth is, without the historical, physical resurrection of Jesus, we would be without hope for our own resurrection. That's the topic of a book titled With a Mighty Triumph, available at Truth for Life today. Request your copy at truthforlife.org/donate to help you prepare for Easter.
This is Pastor Tom Hall. People are capable of such goodness. So what's wrong with us? Why are we at war with each other? Why are we so anxious? Well, this is the time of year when we look at ourselves through the eyes of faith in light of Jesus' great sacrifice for us. Join us at First Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh, 326th Avenue, downtown, Sundays at 10:45, as we reflect on the wonder of the cross. Learn more at fpcp.org.
Ask Alexa to play the word Pittsburgh to hear us there. We're on your Google speaker too, plus iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
You've been unfairly shut out from the housing of your choice. What can you do? In Pittsburgh, you have the legal right to rent or buy whatever you choose. No doors should slam due to ignorance or discrimination. Pittsburgh is a city of vibrant neighborhoods. Let's make sure Pittsburgh is the most livable city for everyone. Contact the City Commission on Human Relations for help opening those doors.
A high wind watch in effect tomorrow morning through tomorrow evening. For tonight, windy and mild, periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 53. Winds gusting past 45 miles per hour tomorrow. Some sunshine, then turning cloudy with a heavy gusty thunderstorm in the afternoon. Strong winds can produce power outages and tree damage. Will reach a high of 67. Mostly sunny skies Sunday with a high of 50. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
So 9 colleges in China have tasked their students to go find love, go fall in love for the week off that the schools are providing. The schools will be off from April 1 through April 9. And they said to the students, walk out on campus and get in touch with nature. The schools have also been giving students, teachers a week off in the spring. They say, enjoy the blossoms, go fall in love. We would like to place a special emphasis on romance. The announcement comes amid a push in China to bolster rapidly declining birth and marriage rates. Local companies, provinces, and townships have been experimenting with ways to get people to tie the knot, like offering a 30-day marriage leave or launching campaigns asking city women to date rural older bachelors. But you only have a week to do it.
Okay, first of all, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Well, I mean, the Chinese government.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
they ruined it.
Of course,
generations.
They ruined generations when they decided that abortion.
One child only.
Abortion was going to be mandatory if you had more than one child. Isn't it funny how we think whatever we think is the smart thing to do? If we follow it, completely godless in our outlook, right? Without concern for what God says to do, which is to honor life at its oldest, at its youngest.
Yes.
It will come back to haunt us at some time. It really will.
There it is.
And now it's haunting an entire generation, multiple generations of Chinese.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine what the disparity between men and women?
There aren't enough women.
No, of course not.
Because they aborted
millions.
Right. Everybody wanted a son.
Girl babies, right. So rural older bachelors are now crying out because they're lonely. They have no one to love. That's really sad.
Isn't that, I mean, in so many ways, that's tragic.
Yeah. And probably, it's not just China, right? I think it's probably most of the modern world in some way.
No, China and Japan for sure are suffering with that. But I think birth rates have been down in...
We just talked about Pittsburgh.
Except when it comes to conservatives. People who are religiously conservative, in particular, have more babies. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the rates of Islamic births in Asia, they way outpace people of other faiths.
Interesting. All right, so go forth and multiply.
Yeah,
right?
That's what God said to do. We can review coming up next. What were we talking about? Reading, eating. What hacked you off, John? Mm-hmm. He'll answer next. The ride home.
WORD. Pittsburgh's favorite Christian music on the weekends.
With the best new music. New music from We Are Messengers, Wholehearted. Stronger from Ellie Holcomb.
He is stronger than your fear.
And Andrew Ripp for The Love of God. Celebrating 20 years of bringing Pittsburgh's favorites and the best new music.
101.5 Word FM on the weekend.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest-rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000. If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
How's your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
It's been another week. That means it's time for John and Kathy's Week in Review. What was everyone talking about this week?
Well, 3 9-year-old kids were killed, along with 3 teachers and administrators from their school. So 6 people. And then, of course, former president indicted. Those were the bookends of the week.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a lot.
It's great news, isn't it?
That's what I would say people were talking about, right?
Too.
Yeah.
What was a conversation that made you think?
We went to the phones. It wasn't a conversation, but it was us asking you, and you called. I think we took 25 phone calls in short order. And
the question was, if you could not look at solving the mass shooting problem, just one thing that would help.
Right.
We got some great ideas from people, really. And it was just worthwhile to hear
the voices.
Yeah, all of you
and
who
the
called
wisdom.
In.
It was very like-minded. I felt like, there's a community out there.
But even when they weren't like-minded, people had very different ideas about what, and I'm sure people would disagree with each other and whatever, but at least it was just hearing ideas.
It was civil.
As opposed to, did you see the shouting match between the Republican and the Democrat that was caught on video and plastered all over the news?
Really
it was
sad.
either yesterday or the day before.
It solves nothing.
It solves nothing. So it was good to hear what you guys had to say.
Did you have the same thing?
No, I picked yesterday at 5:10. Jay Slocum was on, and we talked about a theology of clothing.
Yeah, it was wild.
That was really fun. I'd never thought about it that way. Usually when Christians talk about what to wear and what not to wear, it's about how women have to make sure they cover everything so that men can control themselves. This was a much bigger conversation about what we owe to one another and how we dress. And he brought up that really excellent example of his wife set up a night for them to go out. And she was so excited. And he came home from working in the bike shop.
Washed his hands and
said, okay, I'm going to go.
And she gave him a look like disappointed. Really? That's the best you've got? So without any fuss, he went upstairs, took a shower, changed into some, of his better hipster clothes, new pair of boots, felt good about it, came downstairs, and she was like, yeah. And they went out and had a good time.
So really, what we wear does matter.
The theology of clothes.
So it was good, really good. If you missed any of that, you can check out our podcast, The Ride Home with John and Kathy.
What are you reading?
My guess is just like you. I mean, I'm reading unhealthy is what I'm reading. Too much news, too much online junk. I'm better off when I commit to turning off online and reading for just pure enjoyment. Just for pure enjoyment.
Sure.
Just for the sake of a story. Or to learn something, or and not to engage in that. So to be honest, I've not read for enjoyment this week. I've read for news sources. You reading anything good?
I did. I am reading several good things. I'm reading A Fatal Grace by Louise Penny, which is the second book in the Detective Armand Gamache series.
Oh, man.
I really ended up liking the first one, so I'm reading the second one. I'm also, I am close to finishing Bono's book, Surrender. but it's just super long.
You're keeping me away from it.
Because I keep talking about how long it is.
Yes, yeah.
Because I'm listening to it. But it is really worthwhile. But I think I'm like at 90. I don't know. Some percent. I'm close.
So you know how the story ends.
Yeah.
What did you eat?
We had pulled out the wok and had beef and broccoli this week.
How was that?
Excellent.
Was it?
My wife's got it down. Yeah.
Is that something? Because I would think I'm Caucasian. I can't do that.
No, she oyster sauce.
Okay.
And, we went to Costco and she bought, beef and she cut it down. And, a couple of heads of broccoli, you cut it down. And I go sit in the other room.
Right. So according to you, it's easy.
Super easy.
It's so easy.
She does it so well.
Easy.
I mean, how hard can it be? It's beef and broccoli.
Oh, my God.
And you heat it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ron.
This is the same guy who said the crafts were good.
Wait, say what was good?
Yeah, crafts.
Yeah, crafts are good.
I love those crafts.
I like it.
Except you didn't make any of them. Okay, I mentioned this earlier in the program. Mm-hmm. You can buy frozen pizza dough at PenMac. In the Strip on Penn Avenue. Yep. You can go in the freezer section, and they just have balls of dough. Mm-hmm. And I think it costs $2.89
for a ball of dough.
And you take it home and thaw it and make your own pizza. And it's super easy. It's fun. If you have a group of people, everybody can make their own pizza. Anyway, I don't make my own pizza dough. For those of you that do, I'm sure it's terrific and better.
Is that Paul?
But for me, and Meg and all those people in my life who make me feel like I can't cook. But this is nice for people that are working. I don't have time to do that, and so I can just buy a ball of dough, and it's not filled with preservatives and all that sort of thing. And I hate to tell you guys, John and Lex, but it is better than a frozen pizza.
Okay.
What did you watch?
We watched a delightful film the other night, Mrs. Harris
Goes to Paris.
Is
it good?
It's wonderful. It's, for a long time, you had to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's on Prime. It's free.
I just got the email a couple days ago that it was free.
It's fabulous. It's kind of funny because we saw the previews a long time ago, and I don't like to watch previews, but I watched the previews for this. It's totally what I did not think it was going to be. I loved it.
Okay, even as a guy.
Yeah, I loved it. Mrs. Perry, it's the weird thing about it. It's about couture.
Yeah.
And this woman's she's a washing lady. She cleans houses. It's this wonderful story. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. It's on Prime. Highly recommended.
That same woman who starred in that starred in another show called The Magpie Murders.
Oh.
And she was so terrific.
Really?
Is she good in that?
She's incredible in this.
I
Ada
love
Harris.
her. What's her name?
Ada Harris.
Well, she's great.
Yeah.
You're
good.
Gonna
love this film. It's set in the 50s in Paris. I mean, it's really wonderful.
Oh, that's really great. Okay. I did watch something totally different. I watched Bosch Legacy, which is the continuation of the Harry Bosch story after it's 7 seasons on Prime. It's now on Free Zone, whatever I don't know what it is. It's like it's like the free part of Amazon that you watch things, but you have to do commercials.
Why is it commercials? Do you have Prime?
I do have Prime, but this is a different subsection of it. Anyway, Bosch Legacy, Titus Welliver starring as Harry Bosch.
Really?
So good. Definitely worth it. Absolutely, you should watch Bosch Legacy.
What hacked you off?
We continue to murder our kids in schools.
And just argue with each other and accomplish absolutely nothing.
We can't do anything.
We cannot have a conversation about it.
I mean, you look at the rest of the world. I mean,
and they think, boy, are you people idiots? And we are.
It's just it's heinous.
A Democrat can't go up to a Republican and say, I don't have all the answers here. Let me hear what you have to say. And a Republican can't do the same thing to a Democrat. So everybody just yells at each other and thinks that the other person's the problem.
Stop
I hate
killing
it.
Our kids.
I hate it so much.
What was the best news you heard this week?
Baseball's back. I can't tell. I get so excited. I got so excited yesterday.
So great.
We had the TV on here in the studio. I was like jumping out of my seat just because it's so pretty. And the clock, as much as I hate the idea of a clock, it makes the games very enjoyable.
It was really, really good.
Yeah, I loved it. That's good news for me.
Best news I heard this week is I'm back to my workout routine.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
You're working out?
I haven't done it since December 14th.
I'm sorry, did I shame you into this?
No, I needed to be shamed into it. Whatever shame you could pile on me, I felt much more. That was piling on myself. Anyway, it feels good to be back.
Really does. Okay.
What have you been listening to?
Oh, so we are fans of a group called Nickel Creek. And they've
Which
been
is different than Nickelback.
Yes. Nickel Creek's been around since 1989 when they were 12. It's Chris Teal and a brother and a sister, Sarah Watkins and Sean Watkins. It's a mandolin, a fiddle, and a guitar.
Chris is outrageous.
And the voices are beautiful. So they produced 6 albums. They stepped away, did their own thing for a while. They came back. They got a new album out, and they're coming to Pittsburgh in mid-April, and we're going to go see them. So here's Nickel Creek.
That's super nice.
Not fabulous?
I absolutely love that.
Nickel Creek.
Absolutely.
Do yourself a favor.
Wonderful.
Really excellent stuff.
All right, I was listening to something totally different. That's Chris Bodie on trumpet. This is Java Jazz. It happened 4 years ago. I just found it this week. That's Cy Smith singing. Do you know her?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Love this song.
Anyway, it's really beautiful. This is just a little taste of it as we go out, but check it out. You can find it on YouTube.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Reverse mortgages may seem complicated and even a bit scary, but it doesn't have to be. You have options. Your home is your biggest investment and often your biggest asset. Hi, Todd Avakian here.
And Andrew Del Rey from Sierra Pacific Mortgage. Reverse mortgages are a way to get cash out of your home and eliminate your monthly mortgage payments forever. You pay back the loan when you no longer live in your property.
Andrew and I I have helped countless people get a reverse mortgage. It might not be right for everybody, but when it is, it truly is a life changer, helping you preserve your way of life in difficult times.
If you're considering a reverse mortgage or need more information on how it works, we'll give you an honest assessment of the options available to you and creative solutions to solve your mortgage issues.
Give us a call at 888-888-1172. That's 888-888-1172. Or reach out to us online at andrewandtodd.com. That's 888-888-1172 or andrewandtodd.com.
When it comes to your child's education, do you feel like you have a partner in your current school? Or is it more like you're on your own? As you look ahead to next year, now's a perfect time to consider a quality Christian education with a school who will be a true educational partner for you and your family. Many of our area's finest Christian schools are offering half-price tuitions for first-time enrollees, like Tri-State Christian Academy in Burgettstown. Find a school that's right for you at wordfm.com/tuitions.
Cable news. Noisy, out of touch, on repeat. Tired of all the lookalikes? So are we. Salem News Channel is here to change the game. Streaming 24/7, free on your TV with the greatest collection of conservative voices. Home to Dinesh D'Souza, Andrew Wilkow, Brandon Tatum, and more. Like you, we say what's wrong and what's right. Unfiltered and unapologetic. Salem News Channel. We're the answer to the mainstream media. Learn more at snc.tv.
Plans for the weekend?
Final Four party tomorrow.
Hey, fabulous. Okay, good. Well, if you want to get out and about tomorrow, the Vintage Pittsburgh at Heinz History Center. Shop till you drop. Fab finds at the 9th Annual Retro Fair, presented in partnership with the Neighborhood Flea. The event features 45 local vendors peddling everything from secondhand styles and accessories to home decor and vinyl records. How about that?
Okay.
Tomorrow you can take a walk, hike with Cooper. Spunky Spaniel Cooper wants you and your canine companions to join in for a hike at scenic Mount Washington.
That's cute.
Led by Venture Outdoors, the moderate 4-mile excursion explores the Emerald View trails and city sidewalks. Hike starts and ends at Olympia Dog Park.
That would be a really fun thing to do with a
10
little
to noon
pup.
tomorrow.
I love that idea.
Also tomorrow,
Bring my cat.
From stage to page, 400 years of Shakespeare in print at the Frick Pittsburgh and Hunt Library from 10 to 5.
Listen, you would love that.
I'm sure
Wouldn't
I will.
you love that? Is that just tomorrow?
No. It's opening tomorrow.
Okay.
The exhibit, I believe, goes until September.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to that.
From stage to page. Me too.
Okay, listen, we only have 20 seconds. It's Christopher Walken's birthday. How old do you think he is?
He's old. 82.
80.
Yep.
It's Rhea Perlman's birthday. How old do you think she is?
77?
75.
Okay, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Walken, 80
you
years
love
old.
him?
He's the best.
I just love him.
Hey,
In
thanks for being with us.
Severance.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
The Ride Home with John and Kathy, a production of Salem Media Group.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. In sobering news for our country's future, a new Wall Street Journal poll says our national values have shifted radically over the last 25 years. In 1998, 70% of Americans deemed patriotism very important, and 62% said the same of religion. Now, only 38% find patriotism very important, and only 39% said the same of religion. The share of Americans who hold child-rearing and hard work as very important values has also fallen dramatically. Young Americans are the least religious, least patriotic, and least committed both to hard work and to having children. Not surprisingly, they're also more anxious and depressed. It's sad for them, and a resounding failure on the part of all of us charged with equipping them for lives of meaning and purpose. We need to turn the ship around, fast.